Welcome to the next episode on men supporting women. So, Mr. Lugard, we had a very wonderful time with you, talking about alliance with women in politics. But today we want to talk about how men can support women's rights. How can men support, in our first episode, you talk about collaboration, you talk about, complementing. Now, I'm looking at it. Men, what can they do for us? How can they raise our hands up and say, go on, I'm in support, I can help you? So how can men do that for us?
Well, the topic is very apt because we are talking about how men can support women's rights.
Right.
The first thing I want to say that we are all human beings.
Okay.
God created us male and female. God created us tall and short.
Yeah.
Fat and slim. And God, in His own way, has made it possible for us to recognize one thing, that women's rights are human's rights.
Wow. Women's
rights are human's rights. So
okay.
If I know as a man that I have a right as a human being, that right should be also be extended to the women folks as their own rights. So I repeat myself, women's rights are human's rights, and human's rights are women's rights. So you may now ask, do we have men's rights? We said human's rights. So what's the way forward? We must recognize that for everything a man needs as his rights, the woman also needs it.
Wow.
The only differential is the gender.
Can you lay emphasis on something?
Yeah.
For clarification. Because the listeners are those viewing us and listening, they will like, how can you say a man's right is the same thing with a woman's right?
Okay.
So are you trying to say that a woman can go and marry a man?
No.
So
what I'm saying here is that first and foremost, I must recognize you as a human being.
Oh. Okay.
And as a human being, you have human's rights.
Okay.
Every country has its own rights that are already designed as their human's rights. Some rights in Nigeria may be wrong over there.
Yeah.
In the UK, the driving system is right-hand driving. In Nigeria, it's left-hand driving.
Yeah.
So, here we must agree to one point that for you as a human being, you know the right you possess, and that right should be extended. What do I mean? Let me take the first instance. Now, we have it in our constitution that education is human rights.
Yes.
Then how come that we now have situation whereby the young men are sent to school, the young boy is sent to school, and the young girl is asked to go and hawk?
Yeah. Yet we said education is
human's right.
Whoa, now I get what
so we
saying.
Must recognize the fact that as human beings, we are two gender, male and female. And these two genders share the same human's rights.
Right. Wow.
And
that's so interesting.
Yes, and in doing that analysis, I must recognize that your genealogy and mine is not the same. Yeah. Yes. For women, every 28, 21 days, you have your cycle.
Oh, yeah.
I should be able to recognize the fact that during that your cycle, there are certain things you won't be able to do.
Yeah.
I should respect that right. I remember last month we were having a program. My core member in the office told my young girl that she's not feeling fine. I said, what's happened? She said she's under a period. I said, then she would not have come to the office. If you come to my office, we have sanitary pad.
Wow.
Yes, of course. That's part of respect for women's rights.
Like seriously.
As little as sanitary pad.
And some persons will say it's not your business.
Yes,
you're able to take care of yourself. Why are you disturbing yourself?
Yes. Because if I need her to be on duty, then I must make provision of sanitary pad. So even when she's under a period and she comes to work, she should be able to change.
Wow.
Yes, of course. You understand that? So I have to respect her rights in that direction. But somebody say, can you every time? I've seen situations. It's always on. That's why we don't want to employ young girls here. Or they're always giving excuses. I'm under my period. Which kind period? That is an abuse of women's rights.
Yeah.
Because it must come to your senses that as a lady, every 20 so days, she's subject to be under a period. And she respects that right.
And naturally, she could have some discomfort,
yes, of
pains,
course. So you make provision for those things. But we also advise in this case that the women should not take advantage of it at the detriment of the office. So at every point you try to provide the right, you try to balance it. Because Nigerians, you give them 1 yard, they put 0 on the front to make it 10 yards. And that is where we differ from the foreign country. Every opportunity to improve the rights of women in Nigeria, what we've seen is that the women take advantage of it. They don't teach us women's rights today. We go church, pastor don't talk am. See, Baba James, if you know that thing when you do, if you know the drum, I mean, not be so. I don't tire, We should learn our approach.
Yeah.
So while we begin to teach, men need to support women on this right. We should also be able to create a balance so that we don't begin to have more divorces.
Okay. Now, before we wrap up with this episode, I want to ask something. In way of saying men should be able to support women right, I also feel that there is need for parents to start this from the foundational level. Now, somebody like now, you are supporting women. You understand how women feel. Now, I want to believe you are a good husband. Yes. Do you know why I said so? Because you have been groomed from small, you understand, to know the value of, a woman. So it is not out of place if I say that you'll be a good husband and you'll be a good father to your daughter, because you have been groomed, you have been taught. Now, in order for men to support women right, don't you think it's possible for us to create more awareness for parents to start from home, especially fathers? Let your son know that you can go into the kitchen and cook for your younger sister. You can go into the kitchen, you understand, and prepare something and serve. See it as care for a sister, not masculinity. I'm a man. I shouldn't be the one to bring the food. I shouldn't go in and serve. Or she's a woman. She should learn how to be a good husband by practicing it with her younger one. So don't you think that parents have to start this?
Yes, we need more advocacy on this. We need more awareness. We need to address foundational issues in our families. I as a young man, even before I got married, I need to cook. I cook for myself.
Yeah.
Do I need to wait for one lady to come and remove the plates which I used to eat?
There are some people, even in this digital world, there are some men that can't cook. This mentality is so deep.
Yes, that men cannot cook. There are also women who cannot cook.
But it's more of the men. The problem is not. No, do you know why I said so? No, the problem is the mentality that the sisters are there.
That is why we need to address the foundational issues. Parents, everything starts from the home. And I remember the social studies then were taught that the basic unit of the society is the family. Everything starts from the family.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we all came through different family background, family systems, which has really not provided us that.
Yeah.
So our families need to be taught that we are equal from childhood. Our family needs to know that the boy child is taught the right thing to do, that the girl child is not relegated, and the boy child is taught how to take care of the young girl from the home, not until when they get married. That's why today what you see, even as we are beginning to talk of get child, if we don't take care of the boy child, we keep having some broken homes. So we must set a balance. That's why I said, if you watch everything I keep saying, we need to set a balance. We need to set a balance. If not, if that balance is not set from the onset, we will experience the imbalance in the family. So while the family grows up, we'll be able to tell the young girl what to do and tell the young boy what to do part time. That way, they will be able to complement themselves.
Oh.
So they see themselves as collaborators, they see themselves as complementers.
Yeah.
That way, they are not competitors. Because if they live as competitor, then there's crisis in waiting.
Wow, wonderful. Now we are going to wrap up with this beautiful episode, but I would like our viewers to get the main point. You said something very crucial. We should know that whether you are a male, you are a female, you are a human being. You must first of all consider the human right.
Yes.
Does she have the right to a peaceful home? Does she have the right to have this? Does she have the right to be accepted? Then before we now go into gender, and we should of course kill the spirit of competition.
Good.
It's not necessary. When we work together, we'll get the best. This is the end of this episode. Let's watch for the next episode. Thank you.